This June the 10th Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. Welcome everybody to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Wednesday, July the 9th. We are here to handicap a short card, 10-game card of MLB action for Thursday, July the 10th. Joining me from somewhere in New York is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Mal. No, I almost got it. Good evening. I haven't talked to you in a while. I was on vacation for a little bit over the weekend. I feel like I always do the show with Scott, but no slight at Scott. Love Scott. But yeah, always good to be back with you. And we got only this last week before the end of the first half of the season is over. So can't wait for that. Got the home run derby coming up. We got the All-Star game coming up. So excited to break down these games with you.
Yeah, pulled the old switcheroo last night. Me and you have done the Tuesday night show for several weeks in a row. But I got a little job last night. I took the casino down to Sheffield. It was nice to get a Tuesday night job. All helps. Pay for the van. So, yeah, that helped a little bit. So, yeah, we pulled the switcheroo. And that also means we get the easy shift, or I get the easy shift.
Yeah.
I get the 10-game card rather than the usual 15. Skrills from the Curb has joined us in the chat. Skrills, how are you doing? And John Cullify as well. If you are in the chat, by all means, say hello. Monday, I did the show with Lonte, and we discussed the never-ending mad things that happen in baseball. And the first time in history that Pittsburgh, or any team, it was Pittsburgh that done it, first time ever that Pittsburgh had won 3 shutouts in a row, and then followed it up by losing 3 shutouts in a row. And we just talked about how it's mad that these things can still be new. And then last night, the Tuesday night games, we got I don't know if you saw this at all, Dylan, only the third time ever that something happened. We got a walk-off inside the park home run. Third time in 100 and however many years we've been playing Major League Baseball. Yeah, Patrick Bailey for the Giants. It's funny as well because he slings one out into Triples Alley and it hits the wall so hard and rebounds a clear 70 yards in the other direction with the 2 outfielders chasing it like a Benny Hill sketch. So, yeah, hot on the heels of that anomaly in Pittsburgh, we got a really weird one in San Francisco. The only annoying thing that was we'd taken Philly on the show. Yeah, I know, because there was such a good plus 130. It was a great price. And they're hanging in there. It looks like it's going to, extras is going to carry on. And then you get something that's happened 3 times in 150 years to cost you so regardless.
Can't make it up.
Lonte hit his home run pick, though. Trevor Story went yard for the Red Sox. So there you go. 10 games here on the card. 2 of them are off the board. One of them is a missing pitcher for the Mets. Don't know why the other one's missing, but we will do our best. I'm not sure what the plan is for next week with the All-Star break. I think we'll definitely do a home run derby. I'm sticking with derby. No, I didn't see it. You can't prove it. We're going to stick with a home run derby episode. And we'll probably do something on the All-Star game. But you've got to remember, this doesn't get on my radar at all. I don't understand it. We always have this conversation every year. Makes no sense to me. So hopefully they'll not put me on that show.
Scott, he's going on vacation, so it might just be me or Lonte if you're MIA, or maybe we'll get Adam to come in.
I don't mind doing the home run derby. I'll throw some darts at that because there's 8 blokes and one of them is going to win.
Yeah.
I don't mind throwing some darts at the other stuff. You've absolutely lost me. I might join and you can educate me. That could be the thrust of the show. You and Lonte can educate me on what's going on and why. Every SGPN podcast is available on the SGPN feed. Get that wherever you get your podcasts. And we will start Thursday's card with this off-the-board game, 1:05 Eastern, between the New York Mets and the Baltimore Orioles. The Mets are TBD. You can try and explain to me why, maybe, Dylan. Charlie Morton is confirmed for the Orioles, but no lines on this. We'll throw this across to you, Dylan, to lead us off, because it is your Mets. And what's happening with this Mets rotation in this spot here?
Well, I thought it was going to be a newcomer. I thought his name was Justin Hangerman, but it's a guy gonna call up from AAA, but it's still TBD. ESPN, MLB, they all have it TBD. So I don't know when it is this late, because usually we have lines up and confirmed pitchers. Usually when it is this late, you're gonna throw a curveball at us. So we'll see. Maybe after the game tonight, we'll get a confirmed pitcher, but I don't know, man. The Mets, they didn't look good. I know that they won last night in extra innings in 10, but to be honest, they didn't look good for most of the game. Baltimore kind of was in that game for most of it. So we'll see. They're still sitting around 500 for the last week or so. I don't know. I'm still not bought in on the Mets team, even though me and Scott disagree. I thought Juan Soto should have been an all-star. I think he's starting to heat up a little bit. So maybe he'll trickle in. Maybe if a guy winds up not wanting to play, but we'll see. They're still under 500 on the road. So unless we're getting a really good price here with the Mets, I do think it's Charlie Morton for the Orioles. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the price winds up being for the Mets. But you got to imagine if it is a guy they're calling up from AAA, the Orioles are going to be a favorite here at home.
I actually bet the Mets for that game last night, Dylan, and never for a second did I think they were going to win. I listened to the radio call in the dead of night when I was driving back up the motorway. And yeah, I turned it off for a little bit and had a little sing-song to myself because I just thought they were toast. And then woke up this morning and they'd got it done. So yeah, slightly fortunate. I mean, Charlie Morton really fought back after that horrible start when he did look like a dead horse. And May, June and July have all been really, really good. I just think both bullpens could be really stretched here by Thursday. They were both creaking last night. Both bullpens were creaking. We might get a Mets bullpen day, rookie, 3-4 innings, something like that. And Morton, vulnerable. I think some of the Mets lefties can get to him. Maybe Brandon Nimmo's going well. So I do like runs potentially, but there's better games that we can handicap here. Starting with a 1:10 Eastern first pitch between the Chicago Cubs and the Minnesota Twins. Colin Ray for the Cubs and Chris Paddock goes for the Twins. Tight on the books, -115 Minnesota, -105 the Cubs, and the total is 9.5. Colin Ray, I quite like him. He throws more good starts than bad ones. He's particularly good against left-handed hitters, actually. They're only hitting 226 of him. His ground ball numbers are up lately, which I think will help neutralize this Minnesota offense. Chris Paddock's ERA is creeping up. He's struggling a bit with his command in recent starts. He is better at home, but the Cubs are 20-10 versus righties on the road, which is a really strong trend. And the Twins have got a bottom 5 batting average against cutters and sinkers. And cutters and sinkers is what Colin Ray throws 45% of the time. So I think this sets up nicely. I also think the Cubs are just a little bit of a better team. So in what's a relative match on the books, I prefer Ray over Paddock. I prefer Cubs over the Twins. I'll take the Cubs at -105, Dylan.
Yeah, I got -108, so shop around. I can't believe they're that short of a favorite, even underdog in some of the books. My numbers made the Cubs a -120 favorite here. I got to take them. Outside of that one poor start versus the Mariners, I feel like Colin Ray has been serviceable for the Cubs. I would much rather back him than Chris Paddock. I agree. He has been better at home, but not someone I really want to back, if I'm being honest. Paddock was terrible in the month of June, and for me, personally, I know they won last night, but Twins are still on my do not bet list. Their bullpen stinks. And I think with how good the Cubs offense is, best in the league right now. I think they're up to number 1 with runs per game at 5.42 per game. I got to back the Cubs here. Short number. I love the stat that you said, 20-10 straight up versus righties. That is a very good number as well. So, yeah, I got to take the Cubs here. I just don't think the Twins could keep up offensively.
5:10 Eastern. A bit of a weird start time for the Miami Marlins at the Cincinnati Reds. Cal Quantrill for the Marlins will go up against left-handed pitcher Nick Lodolo for the Reds. -140 favourite Cincinnati, +120 for Miami. Dylan, the total is 8.5.
Yeah, I see 8.5. I see 9s. I think we see some runs in here. My total came out to 9.7. I don't want to back either side. The Reds are playing really poorly right now. They're losers of 4 straight. And even though they're struggling to score some runs, which might scare some people away from the over, their bullpen is suffering. I think that's why we're seeing some overs here in their games. The Marlins, they're also backed up by a bottom 10 bullpen. Offensively, the Fish can score some runs. They're a pesky team offensively. They just put up 12 runs on Tuesday night. They're hitting 265 on the road. And with these two pitchers, in Nick Lodolo and Cal Quantrill, I don't really trust either of them. I think both of them are good to give up a few runs in a very hitter-friendly ballpark at a Great American Ballpark. So wind's blowing out as well. 8.5, 9, whatever it is at your book that you're betting on, I think the over is a very good play here.
See, I kind of had a different angle here, Dylan. We can both win because I've gone for a first 5 under. So we might have to get this done late for us both to cash. But Cal Quantrill's really steadied the ship lately. 2 earned runs given up in each of his last 3 starts. The Marlins have won his last 4 starts. You mentioned the fact that they shellacked Cincinnati in the Tuesday night game. But Nick Lodolo's been all right as well. His numbers are slightly skewed. He had a 6 earned run performance against the Guardians on June the 11th. So if you look at his recent numbers, you might think his ERA is up there. But it's that one game that's skewed that slightly. So I don't mind both pitchers. And there's quite a lot of trends for them against, for first 5 unders. Miami against lefties, 13-6-1. And Cincinnati are over 500 as well, just 29-26-2 against righties. So I'll take a first 5 under, Dylan. A bit of a crossfire there, but we can both still land a winner. 7:05 Eastern first pitch. The Seattle Mariners are at the New York Yankees. Brian Wu goes for Seattle. For the Yankees, it will be Marcus Stroman. And +135 for Seattle. -160 the Yankees. Total here is 9.5. Just before we handicap this game, Dylan, Marcus Stroman really doesn't like the New York Mets, does he? I've got the feeling he doesn't like too many people. He's always having a whinge, but I heard him having a right go at the New York Mets last week. What's all that about?
No, I didn't see. What did he say?
Oh, just you're all dicks, basically. The organization.
He's just mad because he sucks.
There you go. There. Yeah. I think you've just ably demonstrated his point, Dylan. I think that's what it is. So have a look. Yeah, he just said, he didn't like the organization, the fans.
He's such a sore loser, that guy.
That's it, exactly it. Yeah,
such a sore loser. He makes him so unbackable. Like, you want to root for a guy. He reps the United States in the World Baseball Classic, but then he comes out and he thinks he walks on water and he thinks he's better than what he is. You're not good.
Like, there you go. I knew I'd get a little rise out of you there, Dylan. Yeah. Thank you. And I quite fancy the Mariners here, actually. Yeah. +135. New York won last night. Now, that game was weird last night because there was nothing in it. It was 1-0 after 5 innings. It rained for a good couple of hours. And then the second half of the game was just a bit weird. It was a bit anomalous because it didn't in any way reflect what was happening while both starting pitchers were going at it. So I'm kind of happy to draw a line through that. And having done that, I still don't trust the Yankees. They're still not in good form. Mm-hmm. And Wu v. Stroman, I think I'd rather be on the side of Brian Wu, wouldn't you? 3 of his last 4 have gone scoreless. 3 of those he won and was an unfortunate loser in the others. He's got a 282 career ERA against the Yankees, which is fine. This is Stroman's 3rd start back from the IL. And they've both been okay. if not completely convincing. 2 high-scoring games, but I like Woo's fastball is going well. He's got a top 10 chase rate. He can get rid of these Yankees here. He can send them down. Stroman's numbers suggest, his metrics suggest he has been all right. I think he could go okay. So relatively low scoring, possibly. But I just don't know why I wouldn't take Brian Woo in Seattle here at plus 135.
Yeah, I'm going to go with another total. I agree on the Mariners. I made him a minus 135 favorite, so cannot back Marcus Stroman here. I see some 9s out there, so shop around. I know you said 9.5. My total came out to 9.3. Just look at the recent games for the Yankees. 9-1 towards the over in their last 10. The offense really hasn't been the problem for them. It's been their bullpen. That's still an issue. Pitching has not been good. Marcus Stroman stinks. Every single start he's made has gone over this total. So even though he has, to your point, metrics have been better, they're still in a lot of high-scoring games. He's only had one solid start this year, in my opinion, and I don't think this spot against the Mariners is a really good matchup for him. Mariners rake on the road, and the over has been profitable away from Seattle for this Mariner team. 26-18 towards the over on the road. They're averaging almost 5 runs per game on the road. I love a Mariners team total over in this spot as well. So I think Brian Woo is going to be able to limit this Yankee team as well. So I'm going to take the over. I like the Mariners team total over. I like the Mariners. I don't like the spot for the Yankees.
You mentioned shopping around for prices there. This card today was the most disparity I've seen in prices in any card. I don't know if it's just because I'm not used to doing the getaway day games, like the Thursday games. But I saw wide variations in prices on totals and lines on a load of the games, more than I have done for a long time across MLB, whether that's just peculiar for tomorrow or it's like I say, it's a Thursday getaway trend or what. You might know better than me, but definitely worth having a look about, as it always is, to find these prices. The Circa Million and Circa Survivor are live, $21 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake. So all extra money goes in the prize pool if the entries go above the guarantee. The Circa Million, you pick 5 teams against the spread each week, or you've got the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. You must register in person at a Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, but you can play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com, use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and football futures. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply at mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Boston Red Sox, where Taj Bradley draws the start for Tampa Bay. Walker Buehler goes for the Boston Red Sox, and there are no lines on this game. Pitchers have been slated all day, but not seen much on this one. D-Rock, it's not a bad-looking matchup on paper, but there's one side I prefer. Who do you like? Rays, Red Sox?
Yeah, I mean, how do we fade the Sox at this point right now? They're one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. 7-2 in their last 9. They're scoring they just scored 46 runs in their last 5 games. Now going up against Taj Bradley, who I'm not really high on that this year. He's given up 3+ runs in his last 3 starts, 3 of 4 starts, excuse me. And I just think this is a bad spot for him. And on the other side, got Walker Buehler, who he's been up and down, but at home, he has been much better for the Sox. My numbers made him a minus 120 favorite at home. So it'd be interesting to see what this total is. Total 9.9. I think we're going to see some runs here as well. So maybe a 9.5. It is going to be a nice night out in Fenway, but winds are blowing in. So keep an eye on that. Total, I made mine at 9.9, and I made the Red Sox a minus 120 favorite here with Walker Buehler. So that's how I kind of would play this game.
Just going back to my point about the disparity in lines, Gio in the chat saying that FanDuel and DraftKings appear to be going head-to-head against each other, so getting different lines available on these books, so that's good to know. I don't mind Bradley. He's really hard to bet because he's so inconsistent. He's very shaky lately. He's got a high whip. He's got a high home run to fly ball rate, which is a problem, I think, taking on these Red Sox tomorrow. That can spike in these small parks. So I think the Red Sox might get amongst it tomorrow. Buehler is still shaking off the rust in 4 games started, getting a little bit more swing and miss lately. But the Rays just aren't hitting well. Last 10 games, only hitting .213 against right-handed pitching. Boston 9-2 in their last 11 home games. You mentioned the runs they've scored, their overall record lately. Can't get in the way. You're absolutely right. I'll take Boston Red Sox. 7:40 Eastern, first pitch. The Cleveland Guardians take on the Chicago White Sox. Left-handed pitcher Logan Allen for Cleveland. It will be Jonathan Cannon who goes for the White Sox, who are home underdogs at +110. -138 Cleveland. And the total here is 8.5. I think the White Sox snap the Blue Jays winning streak this evening? Game was just about finishing.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, they did. Beat them 2-1. Oh, well, that's slightly disappointing. That kind of knackers up my my White Sox handicap a little bit. Back-to-back Cleveland wins have really annoyed me this week. Those 2 wins against Houston, we were so bullish on the Lonte was on Monday. Myself and Lonte both were on Tuesday. Hunter Brown was on the mound. We just expected the Guardians to be swept on the back of that 10-game losing streak they had. And they've won 2 in a row at Houston. Logan Allen has been good lately. 2 or 3 earned runs in each start. And that's probably good enough here. Jonathan Cannon's form has dipped. He's got away with it the last couple of times. He's thrown a couple of 3-inning starts and won. Mainly because Colorado, his opposition, don't count. He's not too bad at home. And this is where my handicap unravels slightly. The White Sox are streaky, and the current streak is run-line defeats. However, in the hours since I wrote that, they've gone and won a game 2-1. What that just makes me more confident is they've won a game, so they're going to have another 3 or 4 nights where they don't win one. I think Cleveland at -138 is a really fair price still, and I'll take the Guardians.
Yeah, I agree. I don't love the game, but I do have to take the Guardians at this number, -134. My numbers made them a -155 favorite. I don't think Allen has been all that bad, truthfully. I think he's much better than people are looking at his numbers. And I think he's much better than Jonathan Gannon, who doesn't really go long into games. Walks are an issue. And don't look now. I know it's only 2 games, but Guardians bats have heated up during this series versus the Astros. And the Astros were coming into this series blowing the floor off of the Dodgers, really coming into this series hot, where the Guardians have lost 10 in a row coming into this series, where you're like, oh, you're not going to back this team. And then this against the Astros, they're out here hitting. So, and while the offense for Chicago is not promising, I just think they're going to have a tough time keeping up with the Guardians. So -134. I know the White Sox, they hit lefties pretty well. They are competitive at home, but I'm going to take the Guardians here. I do think they're the better team.
Next up is I've lost my place here. 7:45 Eastern, first pitch between the Washington Nationals and the St. Louis Cardinals. Mike Soroka for Washington. Mike Mikolas, the Lizard King, for the Cardinals. +115 Washington, -135 St. Louis. Total here is 7.5. If you've got 7.5 as your total, because that blew my mind when I...
No, I got 8.5.
Right, I did, yeah. This is kind of the thing I was looking at. There was 100% of 7.5 kicking around earlier on, because that made my eyebrows fly off the top of my head in terms of a total, because it screams runs, these two. What have you got, Dylan? Nationals at Cardinals?
Shit, if you could still get a 7.5, take that over. I made my total 9.2. Even at an 8.5, I still think we'll see some runs. But I can't get away. -136. I feel like that is a short number for the Cardinals here at home. My numbers made them a -160 favorite. I personally can't back the Nationals right now. They're another team like the Twins, and we'll talk about them in a second, but the Braves, they're on my do not bet list right now. I just can't back them. They've lost 4 in a row, and offensively, they don't look good. I can't back a team who can't score runs and who also has the worst bullpen in the league. That is just a deadly combo right there. And Michael Soroka stinks. His last start was terrible, and the Nationals have lost his last 5 starts. So Cardinals are a team you want to back at home. They're hitting over 260 at home. I think this is a very short price. Now, I understand Miles Mikolas is not a guy to ride home about, but I think he is better than Michael Soroka right in here, and I think he's backed up by a much better offense. So minus 136, I don't mind. If you don't want to back a side, I understand. I like the over as well. Like I said, I made my total 9.3.
Yeah, some of these lines have either adjusted or I was seeing some bullshit lines earlier on. The other one I'm looking at is the Diamondbacks and Padres line, but we'll get to that in a little while. Yeah, these are 2 pitchers that I tend to just kind of dismiss a little bit lazily because this just instinctively screamed runs. Mike Soroka, 520, raw DRA, lost his last 5 in a row. 46-20, his last 5 starts. Over 12 runs per game, the Nationals have been giving up in his starts. Miles Mikolas, in 3 of his last 5, has an 8, 6, and an 8 earned runs in 3 of those 5. Really disappointed that Tuesday's game finished 4-2 because myself and Lonte were all over the runs. I think he called a 7-6 or whatever it was. It didn't turn into a shootout like I thought it would, but I can't see this any other way. Both are above 500 to the over, and I don't want either pitcher. So, yeah, over 8.5, unfortunately, not 7.5. But we can still get there, D-Rock. We'll take runs. 9:05 Eastern. First pitch is the Atlanta Braves at the Athletics. Spencer Strider for the Braves. Left-handed pitcher J.P. Sears for the Athletics. And it is a match on the books. minus 110 each of 2.
I think you got
right up there at 10.5.
You got the wrong thing, Mal.
What?
Minus 157 Braves, plus 140 for the A's.
I thought fucking.
Yeah, you gotta listen to the show yesterday. Scott had his database all wrong, and it threw me into a loop. I'm like, wait, are we looking at the same fucking lines?
So my little odds checker here is I've got 4 companies who've got this priced up. 3 of them minus 165, minus 161, minus 163. Betway, I don't know, do you have that firm in your company, in your country?
I've heard of it, but I don't use it.
That's listed as minus 110 each of 2, which for the life of me,
that's crazy.
Even with, I know the Braves are shit, but there's no way that's what it is. Okay, minus 160. That pleases me no end because I want to take the Athletics in this spot. Myself and Lonte, I was over the moon with that score last night. It was it old Diego Fuentes, our mate, who just gives up tons of everything. The A's were a great price. We took them, they won. And having seen that, I don't know why I wouldn't do it again. Strider's been looking okay. But even his 2 good efforts recently have ended in 2 low-scoring defeats. So if you want to fade him, just fade him because the Braves can't win. They can't be relied upon to win. They can't be bet at minus 160, certainly. And JPCS has just thrown back-to-back scoreless games, scoreless starts against the Giants and the Yankees. So I can't think of a reason not to bet the A's here at plus 140, Dylan.
Yeah, I think the market has mispriced the Braves a lot. I don't want to back either team. Braves stink. And again, I said it a few seconds ago. They're on my do not bet list. The market is mispricing every single game. They're being priced like they're a 500 team or better. This team is 11 games under 500. They can't score runs. They scored 1 run last night. They're awful on the road, and this A's team could actually score runs. They're hitting over 260 at home. The over's been extremely profitable in Sacramento, 26-19 on the year towards the over. The first game, like I said yesterday, 10-1, it went over this total. I don't trust Spencer Strider either. He's given up 3+ runs in the road in his last 3 of his 4 starts on the road. In a beautiful night in California, it's going to be 99 degrees. The ball should be flying. Plus 140 is ridiculous. You got to take the A's as a home dog, and I like the over as well. I made my total 10.8.
And the Braves should be trotting out the dog shit arms from the bullpen as well.
Another
Fuentes
guy.
went no distance.
Another guy that I'm sorry to cut you off. Another guy that should have made the All-Star team, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Fair enough, yeah.
You can't be an All-Star if you play less than half the games in the first half. That should be a rule.
Luckily, I don't give a shit, so he can play all he wants. He can play every position. I couldn't care less. Yeah. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Use our code MLB SGPN to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, MLB SGPN. And you've heard us talk about rhythm here a lot on the network. And Power Trends is a game-changing feature on there. These are AI-detected patterns where rhythm's model is consistently won and has a high ROI. MLB Power Trends, listen to this, 254 and 147, 63% win rate, that is. An ROI of 4.5% in the past 400 bets. WNBAs, 35 and 20. It's all going on. Get your 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. We are already on to the penultimate game on the show, which is 9:38 between the Texas Rangers and the LA Angels. Left-handed pitcher, Patrick Corbin for the Rangers. Jack Kikanovich for the Angels are even money. The Rangers minus 120. Total, I can see 9. I can see 9.5 if you want it.
Yeah, probably another game I won't bet, but at minus 125, I'm seeing I don't mind taking the Rangers. My numbers made him a minus 135 favorite. This is just a fade of Kavanovich. I definitely butchered it. But home or on the road, I don't really want to back this guy. Over a 5 ERA at home this season. Gives up a ton of hard contact. Batters are hitting over 300 against him. Even for the Rangers, I think they'll be able to find some success against him. Kavanovich has given up 2+ runs in 9 straight games. Walks are also a big issue for him, and he's backed up by a bottom 5 bullpen. So even if he does muster up a decent outing, I think that bullpen will let up a few runs. I don't like the spot for the Halos here, so I'm going to be on Patrick Corbin here on the road, minus 125.
I agree with your fate in Kikanovich. I don't agree with your pronunciation of Kikanovich. But I couldn't take Corbin either, Dylan. 4.18 ERA, 4.47 on the road. But he's got an xERA of 5.75. He's getting away with it a little bit. His hard hits up lately. Home run to fly. Ball rate is climbing. I think this is a good time to fade Corbin, actually. I think his next few starts, we could get into Patrick Corbin a little bit as a trend. Kikanovich is okay occasionally. I don't mind him, but his key numbers are high. A 155 whip suggests he could run into trouble. And he does struggle with his sinker, and Texas can exploit that. Texas are good at hitting the old sinker ball. So, yeah, we'll take over 9 for this Texas Angels matchup. And finally, actually, before we get on to this last game, Gio's rolled out the stat for us, which we like, which is the Twins in day games, straight up, 18 and 26, which leans towards the Cubs, which was a pick we were all over anyway. So more data for the Cubbies. Thanks very much for that, Gio. Appreciate it. And the last game on the card, 9:40 Eastern, the Arizona Diamondbacks at the San Diego Padres. Left-handed pitcher, Eduardo Rodriguez for the Snakes, with Randy Vasquez for the Padres. Diamondbacks are favourites here at minus 125. Padres minus 105. And the total is at 8. Erod threw a shocker last time against Kansas City, but he had been pitching well before that. And I think I'm happy to handicap that previous form rather than one bad start. His junior ERA was 1.98. The Padres have won Vasquez last 3 starts. He's got quite a middling profile. It's quite hard to find an angle on him. But his home splits have been really good. He throws a good changeup. The Diamondbacks struggle with that pitch. And the Padres are 7-2 straight up in Vasquez home starts here. I think it's right to be close on the books, but I think the Padres can nick it. So I'll take San Diego at minus 105 to.
Yeah, give me the home dog. I agree. I think the wrong team is favored. I can't confidently back Eduardo Rodriguez here on the road or at home. He just gave up 8 runs to the Royals. The Royals, one of the worst offensive teams in the league in his last start. I think this is a good spot for the Padres. Their offense, they're averaging 4.3 runs per game at home this year. And even if Rodriguez, like I said, has maybe a decent outing somehow, because he did have a good June, they have one of the worst bullpens, bottom 5 in the league as well. And Randy Vasquez, you mentioned it, he's been much more serviceable at home for the Padres. I think the wrong team is favored. I'll take the short price. My numbers made him a minus 125 favorite. So plus 102. I love the Padres here.
Okay. Nice one, D-Rock. The easy shift has got us 10 games in the locker in 35 minutes. What we do need is a lock and a dog from you, though, mate. What have you got?
All right. Let's see. Lock. Let's go. Let's take the Cardinals. I think this is a very short number. I understand Miles Mikolas hasn't been the best, but against a national team who's lost 4 in a row, they can't score runs to save their life. They have the worst bullpen in the league. I think this is a good spot for a team who hits over 260 at home. So I'll take the Cardinals as my lock, minus 134, minus 136, whatever you're able to get. A little chalky. As my dog, I mean, how do we not take the A's, right? Plus 140. What do we want? I was gonna take the Padres, but that's only plus 102. Fuck it. I'll take the A's. Plus 140 is crazy. At home against a Braves team who's just god awful. 11 games under 500. Think a beautiful night in Sacramento. Ball's gonna be flying in a very high scoring game. Gonna back a team that actually could score the ball against a team that can't in the Braves. So I'll take the A's as my dog. Plus 140.
Yeah, the A's were one of 2 underdogs that I like. The other one being the Mariners. So I'll give out the Mariners with Brian Wu against the Yankees. Again, Marcus
They're minus
Stroman.
120.
Who?
The Mariners.
The fucking... You see, my odds, there's something wrong with this website. Like, I had them at plus 135.
No, so the Mariners are minus 120, plus 102 for the Yankees.
Oh, there's some sort of bullshit this is. Right, okay. I'm going to lock up the Cubs. We'll start there.
Okay.
We all like the Cubs. You like the Cubs. I like the Cubs. The comments, the chat, the listeners, who are the real shrewd ones, they like the Cubs. So we'll give the Cubs a chance with Colin Ray. So now I've got to find an underdog. You've stolen the one. I don't fucking know. Padres run line. There's not much going on here. Miami are a dog, aren't they?
Let me see.
Miami
plus 144.
Yeah, okay. Everything I've said in the last 35 minutes has been dog shit. Plus 144 for the Marlins. Tight series, this one, Marlins at the Reds.
Yeah.
My pick was the first 5 under, but in a tight game at plus 144, the Marlins have been really competitive, won at all sorts of prices for us over the last few weeks. So I don't mind Miami at that price, and it's 24 points bigger than I thought I was getting, so that's a bonus. D-Rock, give us your home run play, mate. Stop laughing.
I'm actually prepared today.
Have you?
Yes, I'm not just going to say Big Dumper or Aaron Judge. Give me Trevor Story, one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. Yes, hits in 10 of his last 12 games, 4 home runs during that stretch, and 11 of his 15 home runs have come against righties. I don't trust Taj Bradley. You mentioned he gives up a lot of fly ball ratio at Fenway in a hitter's-friendly ballpark on a nice, beautiful night. Ball's going to be fine. Trevor Story's going to get another one.
The only problem with that is, it's not a problem, actually, but Lonte gave out Trevor Story on Monday, and he did the business on Tuesday night. So we've had one Trevor Story win this week, but why not ride the hot hand? Yeah. I'm going to fade your guy, Jack Kikanovich. He has given up. How many home runs has he given up this year? Let me see. 16. In 18 starts. So he's good for a homer. which leaves me with a Texas Ranger to play. Corey Seager, should we go for now? Marcus Semien. Yeah, let's take Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
For the Texas Rangers to get one off Kikanovich of the Angels. And I think we've done it, Dylan. Talking of underdogs, not underdogs, just dogs, Dylan.
Yeah.
I have now got to go and do something that I am really not going to enjoy. But you're going to disagree with me strongly here. It's 11:15 at night here. I've got to go and sleep at my sister's house and dog sit the dog. Now, I don't like dogs, Dylan. And I actively dislike dogs. I'm scared of dogs. I'm scared of all dogs, big ones, little ones. It doesn't matter. I'm just terrified of all dogs. So this happens round about once every couple of years. My sister's away for a few days. So all day, my mum went round early on. She fed the dog. She let the dog out for a pee, etc. Betty, my daughter, went round after school. She sat with the dog most of the rest of the day, taking it for a walk, gave it its tea, all of that stuff. But now there's no one. She can't sleep over by herself. She's too young. So now I've got to go. And me and this dog, all we do is sit at either ends of the sofa and stare at each other because I'm terrified. And I think the dog is then terrified. So, and if the dog moves, I jump up in the air. And if I move, the dog jumps up in the air and it's awful. Absolutely awful. I've got to do this tonight and I've got to do this tomorrow. And I'm not looking forward to it even a little bit. So can you come and look after this dog, Dylan?
Oh, I'd be delighted. I'll be there in a few hours. I'll bring my dog as well.
Yes.
To play. Any particular reason you're afraid? If you don't mind
No,
me
I don't think so. I think I was just a bit of a soft arse when I was a kid. I scared of everything. I'm not as bad now. But yeah, nothing happened. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't one particular thing that made me scared. I'm just, I'm just a bit of a soft child. So, but yeah, we just sit and stare at each other.
I think the dog knows you're terrified as well.
Yes, I think he does as well.
Yeah, he could sense it. So just relax. It'll be fine. There'll be no problems. And just pet him or her.
I'm not sure about that. He'll have my arm off. So I'm going to lock myself in the bedroom with I'm going to take my laptop, put some baseball on, and just be there.
Now, on your sport books that you gamble on, do they have casinos?
Yes.
Just play some blackjack tonight.
Oh, that's good advice. Yeah. Don't remember I've got a 1,200 quid bill for the van I need to pay off me.
And that's how you get. That's how you get the money. That's how you get the money.
If I lose 500 quid dog sitting, then I'll really hate dogs after that, mate.
Yeah.
Right. That was some terrible advice. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, everyone in the comments and chat. That was fun. Don't know who's back tomorrow. I will be down the road staring at a poodle. It's a poodle as well, by the way. Did I mention that? Does that make it even worse?
That's even worse.
It's it's a big fucker, though. It's like a small horse. Like, I could get on it. I could take it around the block. Right. Stop talking bollocks. Good luck with all your bets, everyone.